The extension drop test is a useful assessment for looking at function of a leg in the hip socket in this forward or front and back plane called the sagittal plane. I have a bench here set up. It's high enough off the ground that my feet don't touch when I'm laying on it. That's what you need, something that's high enough where your feet can be off the ground even with your knee bent. And based upon the size of this room, I'm going to orient myself about 45 degrees on the bench so one leg can go over. In your case, if you have more room out here or out here and behind, you can do this different ways. So for me, what I'll do, given the limitations of this room, is I'm going to orient my right hip towards the edge of this table. I'm just going to gently hold on to my left leg because I'm focusing on the right leg first. And I'm just going to let this leg slowly go towards the ground as far as it can. What you notice is I oriented myself where this leg can go below the table if that's possible. That's why I'm off to the right and down. And if I just kind of sit up and look, it looks like my knee is fairly in line with my hip. It's come straight out to here. So there might be a little bit of restriction today where this knee can't go below the level of the bench. That's the top of the knee you're thinking of. So if the top of my knee isn't in line with this, which it's not by about 2 inches, there's probably a little bit of restriction. You probably feel a little bit of a stretch somewhere. I feel it right here actually on the outside of my leg. And that tells you that you have less than full range of motion in this forward and backward plane. If I do the same thing on the left-hand side, I'll orient my left hip so I have plenty of range of motion, holding onto my right side just a little bit, and I'll just let this leg gently drop straight down towards the ground. In this case, I might have a little bit more range of motion on this left side. I can almost feel the ground. Yep, there it is. So this would be a negative assessment on the left, a positive on the right. Let's just double check. It's worth double checking assessments just to see if there's a little bit of a learning curve or essentially anything having to do with positioning. This became a little bit better. So in this case, I would say that my legs look fairly symmetrical. They're probably not that restricted, even if they are. So this would be pretty close to a negative test. I would consider a negative test. It's not worth focusing on as a major area of improvement.